Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back. Danny Richard joining us, our vocal training coach at Daniel Richard, a voice teacher. He's from Westbury, New York, hails close to us. Excited to talk to him, teaching people how to sing, learn to use their voices, understand their physical bodies, and so much more. So, Danny, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm good, thanks.
Well, thanks. Pleasure to have you back. And as, a new timer, I should say, to this platform, this is nothing new. You're helping people. For how long now have you been doing this for?
It's been a long time. It's been 34 years I've been teaching.
Really? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to find out, before we talk more about the work that you're doing, I want to hear as a small child, tell me how this started out.
Well, I've always been singing. I've always been performing. As a 5-year-old, I was performing for the neighborhood. Doing Rolling Stones covers and original songs, if you want to call them songs. Tunes that I would make up. And I just kept doing that. And then before I knew it, I was in high school, and I was in a battle of the bands. With a singing with a band.
Wow.
And, I was performing before school. I was performing at bars.
Wow. So you were doing this since a small child. Anyone in your family inspire you? Was there any, mentors that you had? I read about Sinatra and Freddie Mercury from Queen, which I want to hear about. But also anyone, in your family that could sing?
Well, my dad always had a nice voice. I wouldn't, say he would, ham it up that much, but he had a nice voice. He could sing. So I always like to listen to his voice.
Got it. And let me hear, I'm not going to ask you to sing off the spot. I just go to the website. How do we find you? Tell us the website and your contact information. Go ahead.
It's voiceteacherlongisland.com.
Beautiful.
That's my website.
And
or you could find my warm-ups on YouTube and on all over the place, on all over the internet. Danny Richard vocal warm-up series. They're in 4 different ranges for baritone, tenor, alto, and soprano.
Amazing. So hold on. I got to hear how this all works, because here you are as a child. You're loving the arts of singing. And, from there, when did you realize, this is what I want to do? And then let's walk me through your high school, college years and, where you went to school. And I know besides singing, you also compose, write, rehearse, perform. There's a lot. So give me more of your background before we continue. And we're definitely going to help you all out there get in touch with him and talk about the work he's doing now to help people like you who are in need of, working on that voice.
Well, I found myself in college as a music major, as a voice major, piano minor at LIU at Post, Island. Then I went to the Aaron Copland School of Music at Queens College afterwards as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just studying voice, just always fascinated with voice, taking private lessons at the same time. And, I had hurt my voice when I was,
what happened?
I was like 18. I developed nodules from not having any technique. That's what got me into studying voice. Yeah, nodules are calluses, and you can get them pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing with voice.
Well, you're talking to the right person. I had vocal cord surgery a few years ago because working in the broadcast field, I don't sing, and I'm a horrible singer. I really cannot carry a tune, and I'm sorry, but I bet you'll say anyone can learn. I don't know. But long story short, I overuse my voice my whole life, being that it's, my career, right? So maybe not breathing the right way with a diaphragm, which is all things you're going to teach me and teach our listeners today. But yeah, exactly. It's like calluses. And I look at my hands because they're kind of callous, and I put them together, and it's like rubbing two calluses together. And, I was able to see it through the camera images as well. And I know that's quite painful. So did you ever have those removed, or work on your breathing and delivery technique. You did.
I actually, they usually don't remove, nodules anymore. With the proper technique, they go away. But back then, they removed them. So they removed them from me when I was like 18. And then I started studying privately.
Wow. And did that change your voice at all?
No, thank God. I lucked out. I mean, who knows? I could have scarred. That might have been the end of my singing career before it even started.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a blessing. But how scary must that have been for you, right? This is like your tool, your craft, and it's like, oh, my goodness. Now, you majored in voice when you went to school as well, right?
Right.
And so you knew at a young age this is what you wanted to do, right? Like just to teach, to sing? Were you in any plays, anything like that as well?
Yeah, it was all about vocal performance, with my original music that I composed. I had several different bands that I fronted. And I played out in Manhattan regularly, weekly.
Oh, my goodness.
At CBGB's, The Bitter End.
Yes, The Bitter End. I'm a fellow Long Islander, so, oh, my goodness. I remember that place.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let me ask you. This is awesome. The work you're doing. Let's remind everyone, 516-770-4630. And your email is reallygoodsinger@AOL.com. I love that. I'm an AOL.com person, too. People might make fun of me, but you know what? We have all our emails from like 30 years ago still, right? Don't we?
Yeah.
That's what I tell everyone when these younger kid generations look at me like, AOL, you have that? I'm like, uh-huh. And I have everything that anyone's ever emailed me my whole life. So, all right, we are back here with our popular voice teacher, Danny Richard. Excited to talk to him more about the work he does. And let's get started and talk about some of the unique services that you provide. Now, you're teaching people how to sing, learning how to use their voices, but how do you, make that student understand, that... what they want to do and how. Can anyone become a singer? Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Well, I mean, just about. I mean, I know you were saying before, but just about anyone could sing to a degree. I mean, some people are more gifted than others. Have a nicer tonality, or a greater musicality. But just about anyone could learn to a degree to sing.
Yeah,
and I teach all different genres too. So I'm bouncing around from rock to pop to musical theater to classical to folk. Gosh, I mean, to jazz, you name it.
Yeah, well, I want to hear. Now, you work with beginners as well, correct? Not just advanced?
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
Good. How long are your lessons?
I do half hours, 45 minutes, or hours. So, person.
All right. And, is it affordable? Is there like a package program that you offer to people? Is it per session? Or if the more you book, the more, is there any package deals coming up?
Well, yeah, I usually just charge the student by the month.
Oh, okay. So monthly fees.
That way.
Okay, good to know. And do you have a specialty genre that you work with? Any in particular?
A lot of rock people, a lot of pop rock.
And, any country these days, Danny? I know what country's getting big out here on Long Island.
Not a lot of country.
Yeah. Well, let me ask.
Genre that.
Now, how do you, work with, the first timer? I was reading your notes. It says, how do I go through the introduction of the student to their voices? How do you introduce the two?
Well, what I usually do is I have them do a couple of simple scales, like just descending scales with me playing the piano and them singing so I can get to hear their ability to match notes. It's referred to as their intonation, and it helps me to hear their timbre and their control of their voice. And then I usually had previously asked them to have something, maybe a verse and a chorus of a song planned, sing for me. So at that point, they'll sing something for me, and I can get a feel.
Mm-hmm.
No one's really themselves at their first lesson, but I can get a bit of a feel.
Amazing. And do you do in-person sessions as well as the virtual?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Great. And let me ask, if you go to the YouTube channel to find you, how do I find you? Do I look up Danny Richard? Because I know you mentioned you have some warm-ups there and voice, some voice guidance.
Yeah, it's Danny Richard Vocal Warm-Up Series. You can find it on YouTube.
Perfect. All right.
That'll have the four different ranges of voice.
Great. Now,
me coaching you through the exercises.
All right. So let's go into specifics. Let's talk about some of the people you're working with. Would you mind sharing some of the experiences and what it's like and how you've helped people? It's always good to hear, the positive stories about how you're changing people's voice and lives.
Yeah, I mean, I work with everyone from hobbyists to people that are working on musicals, people that are I have a cantor presently. And also, a popular thing right now is a lot of people like to have this rasp, this like rock rasp in their voice without hurting their voice. That's what a lot of people have been coming to me, asking me to teach them to do.
So you could actually get that without having nodules like us?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Are we creating nodules if we do it? No, if we're doing it the right way, we shouldn't, right?
Right. It's tricky, though.
Ah, interesting. And, how do you figure out someone's genre that they identify with?
I mean, that's them. I mean, they come to me with they're in a band, or they're pursuing an audition for a musical, or they're in a musical already, or they want to sing for their religious place of worship.
Mm-hmm. And
so they usually come with with something in mind, in particular.
Have you
genre.
Coached anyone that's auditioning for like Broadway and for play productions here on Long Island? I'm assuming you probably have a few clients in that realm.
Yeah, most definitely. I'd say that the last big name that I taught, he's a legendary. His name is Billy J. Kramer, and he opened for the Beatles when they first came out, and he was produced by George Martin and managed by Brian Epstein and the whole Beatles camp back in the 60s. So he's an older gentleman. He's in his 80s now. But he's still out there touring the world internationally. And I worked with him for a number of years.
Got it. Wow. And who is your mentor? Who is your, who do you look up to?
Well, my mentor out of all my teachers is a gentleman named Bill Riley, who was just a phenomenal voice teacher I studied with for 11 years. He taught Celine Dion. That's, I think, what was his claim to fame. But he's taught so many other people, famous people. And Bill taught me a lot.
Oh.
That was a good 11 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
And let's break it down. I'm on the website, and I hope people do the same. VoiceTeacherLongIsland.com. It's great to see that's your studio there. And I'm reading through, and there's some, testimonials. Let's talk about Paul. He says, this guy is going to help you. Danny is going to demystify singing and teach you how your voice works. Before I continue that, tell me about some of the misconceptions about singers and how we think our voice works, but how it really is working for us. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I mean, the unknowing student, the new student, thinks that it's all exertion. It's air pushing through your throat. You want to get a higher note, push. Usually exertion would be the key word that the unknowing new student comes in with, because it's not exertion. I mean, there's an ease to it. It's what makes studying someone like Sinatra so helpful for even like a rock person, because you learn this ease in the approach to singing. It was called crooning back then. Mm-hmm. It's how you use your air. It's not using more air to get higher or to get louder. It's using the air to access the acoustics of your body.
Yeah.
So it's like that's your instrument, your whole body.
Well, can I ask, you mentioned air, breathing. What are some of the things that we should be doing that we're not doing?
Well, we should, we're all born diaphragmatic breathers, and then in our culture, in the Western world, for some reason, we switch to upper chest or intercostal breathing. It's so peculiar. The only time mammals breathe up there in general, other than in the Western world, human beings, it's for fight or flight. It produces adrenaline.
Okay.
When you breathe with your upper chest. The way that we're born breathing is with the air going into the base of our lungs and activating the oblique muscles and the lats in the back.
Wow.
And just a very deep breath with the upper chest being and the clavicle being relaxed. And then we sabotage ourselves and we start breathing in this fight or flight mode, and it makes it much harder to sing.
Interesting. Well,
yeah, it is.
Let me ask, you've been doing this for quite some time, obviously born into it in a sense, right? And, someone like Paul says, once you isolate your issues and empower you to improve your technique, ultimately your voice and performance best of all, they say you're supportive, you're positive, and this person, Paul, has improved tremendously in just a few lessons. Thank God there's teachers like Danny out there. So I think that's amazing that you have positive reviews and accolades about the work you're doing. And just curious, is there any, special accreditation that you have? I was reading from the NYSTA.
Yeah, it's nice, the National New York Singing Teachers Association. I used to be active with them, and also NATS. National Association of Teachers of Singing. Awesome.
And you also now, not only do you sing, you also play instruments too, right?
Yeah, I play the piano. I played brass all through school, but I play the piano now.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Yeah. Well, what else do you want us to know about working with you and why people should reach out and start the coaching process and getting that voice in tune?
Well, if you want to sing, you got to take lessons. You can't get away with it without lessons. You hurt your voice, and I'm a good guy to go to.
How do singers do it? Like, you hear them sing and they're performing at concerts and they're not losing their voice. What is the secret to that? Is it the breathing? Is it the technique that you can teach them? Because if I sing, and I don't sing much except in the car, or if I'm using my voice a lot, I lose it. So there's clearly that I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be connected to the breath. The breath has got to be doing all the work, all the support of the tone. You can't ask your voice to do vocal cords to do more than they can do.
Okay.
And that's what people tend to do.
Interesting.
And you've got to warm up before you sing. You got to warm up. You got to warm up. You got to warm up. You got to warm up.
I remember the what do you call those? Vocal warm-ups, but I forget their...
Yeah.
Yeah, because, even just in chorus, as being a teenager, but there's those certain warm-ups that you need to do. And what are some common misconceptions about singers?
Is
it all natural? Do you have it, or could you learn to have it?
As we were discussing before, most people can learn to a degree to sing.
Okay.
Yeah, but to sing well, sometimes you just have to have it.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say some of the most challenging aspects as a singer have been? Would it be the vocal cord surgery? Or what other things? What about when you get a cold? What if you have to perform and you're sick, right? That's got to be so difficult because you're relying on that tool.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I mean, that's where things like steam come in. Steam is the voice user's best friend.
Tell me. What do you mean steam? What do we do with steam?
Whether you use like a Vic steamer or you use a nebulizer, steam is great for reducing inflammation and for hydration, for getting rid of mucus. It's, I used to steam when I used to perform regularly. I used to steam before every show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I used to bring the steamer to the club because the singers thought I was crazy.
No, that's a good thing. Well, what about some of the things that we should stay away from? I heard that eating dairy can affect your voice. Is that true?
Yeah, that's it. That all goes into the mucus buildup. If you're a singer, you certainly don't want to have phlegm issues, that chronic phlegm issues that really get in the way of good singing, and dairy can cause that.
And what about tea and all? They say hot tea, hot beverages, that can help with the vocal cords?
Yeah, sure. There's a tea called, a particularly good tea called Throat Coat from a company called Traditional Medicinals. And Throat Coat's got slippery elm in it, which is a plant, which is an emulsant. It shrinks inflammation and it helps hydrate. So I recommend that. I have that in my studio.
Interesting. And I know one thing that always would affect me when I had the vocal cord issues was, that, as you mentioned, the swelling, right? So they used to give you steroids, but that could be dangerous as well. Good, but dangerous, right? I'm sure you've been on a few Medrol prednisone dose packs, right?
Oh, yeah, over the years. Sure.
Well, we still have just 3 minutes left in the show. I want to make sure we're covering everything, being it's your first show with us, and excited to have you here. VoiceTeacherLongIsland.com. How did you want to kind of sum up today's show about your work and how you can help others out there listening today?
Well, I mean, if no matter what kind of genre you're interested in, I could probably help you. I've been doing this a long time, and I have a good track record of people that I've helped, and I try to make it fun. And,
And do you are you anywhere in particular? Do you do any performances? Are you active out there? Or sticking in the studio these days?
I was working on I was in the middle of a musical, and I kind of got halted on that, but I've been writing a musical. And that's really where I've been focused.
What type of musical, can I ask?
It's
Or if it's top secret, that's okay. If you can't share, I don't want people to steal your idea and thoughts if it's not patented yet.
Yeah, it's not, but maybe one day. I think one day.
All right. And at this time, tell us again how we can contact you. Tell us the YouTube page, the website, phone number, any social media pages.
Yeah, my phone number is 516-770-4630. The website is voiceteacherlongisland.com, or you could go to YouTube and go to Danny Richard Vocal Warm-Up Series, and you can find my warm-ups on YouTube. And those are really the main places you can contact me.
Can I put you on the spot? Can you sing something for us? Or are you not warmed up?
What would you want me to sing?
See, I like country, so I don't know. Even if it's just a warm-up, let me hear a little warm-up.
Bella signora.
Oh my, that's much more than a warm-up. That sounds like you're on the stage. That's a warm-up, and you're not even warmed up? I can only imagine what comes next. Impressive. Wow. Thank you for that, and thank you for being here. Danny Richard, what a voice. Go to the website again. Check him out, voiceteacherlongisland.com. And you still offer an initial 15-minute consultation phone call if someone's interested in working with you?
Sure.
Perfect. Sure. And that's 516-770-4630. Check them out. Go to the website. Go to the YouTube page and tell them we sent you. Excited to have you here. And it's never too late to improve. And thank you so much for being here and getting to know you
Thanks
today.
For having me.
You are so welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I won't sing. I won't embarrass myself. But thank you. And I know that's all wrong, but it's okay. I'm a car singer and a shower singer. You still love us, though, right? It's okay?
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Have a great day. Right. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews. Actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.